Hey guys, welcome back. This will be part 6, and in part 6 we're really focusing on welding on the frame here. I've done some welding up here by this the hydraulic motor mount. This is up at the front, so we've got quite a bit of welding up there in that whole quadrant. Of course, I've got the other side and the whole rest to do here. And then, as we talked about in part 5, these caster wheels to wheel the frame around. So I've been cutting out the pieces there. 2-inch square tubing there with a 5/8 inch hole that goes in the receiver hitch housing. A chunk of 2x4 rectangular stock, and then 1/4 inch thick 4-inch by 4.5 inch plates. Those are drilled and tapped, and then the caster wheel bolts onto that. All set here, got all the pieces cut out, trimmed out, and I'm going to get them welded together, and then I can get it up here on the frame, and that goes in these receiver hitch housings. One there on the back corner, there's the other one on the other back corner, and then there's of course 2 up front. Alright, I got all 4 of them tack welded together. Now it's time to bolt the other 3 caster wheels on here with some 3/8 inch bolts and washers, and get them ready to go on there. Alright, I got these caster wheel legs all tacked together, caster wheels on, and I shoved them into the receiver slots. Here it is on the front. And then there's the back ones. See both of those, and now with not a lot of effort I can spin around the whole chassis frame there, which will just make it a lot easier to maneuver it, and eventually then roll it up into the trailer for taking it to the sandblaster powder coater. So now to continue on with some welding, so let's get to it. Alright, I've been focusing on welding here. I've been focusing on this half of the frame. You can see got a lot of weld on it so far, going around the tubes there, and I estimate that so far just this half of the frame has been about 120 inches of weld so far. See up in there, back in there. And then I'm going to switch over here now. It's cooled over the night, and I'm going to come over here and start focusing on this half of the frame. Basically everything I can reach from the top side, and then once that's done, then I'm going to use the crane and some straps and roll this thing over so I can hit the welds on the bottom side. So let's get back to it, some welding here. Got the fume extractor there, that really helps keep the fumes down, so let's get after it with the MIG welder. Alright, I've got everything welded that I can reach from the top side of the frame. Got all these joints around here, all those 4x4 tubes welded on the 2x3 tubes there. They go onto the frame, up into this corner area where the engine mount goes on, and all that other side. So everything that I can reach comfortably from the top here has been welded. There is some underneath welding that I need to do, and I could probably weld it from this position if I raised it up, but I'm not going to. I want to be able to lay down a nice weld. I want to be able to look at it. I want to be able to grind as necessary. So we're going to roll this thing over. It weighs around, let's see here, total was 940 minus 130 for the roll cage up there, so we're about 810 pounds here. I can't do that by hand, so we're going to use the crane. I'm going to bring the crane over here. I'm going to get it all strapped up, and we're going to get this thing picked up, roll it over 180, set it back down, and then get to welding the bottom there. So here we go. All right, I got it flipped over. That was a little interesting with the crane. It's a heavy thing, kind of first time doing that with that heavy, and it's running out of a little bit of a reach with it for turning it back over. So, but we got it, and no close calls, so that's good. You can see kind of here, that's some of the welds there that we need to do now that we've got it flipped over. There, you know, some of these bottom welds be a lot easier with it flipped over. I'm also going to verify some of the fitment of these brackets here where the suspension tie is on. They're mostly just tacked on right now, so I can still adjust those a little bit. It'll be nice and easy to do that with it flipped over like this. So that'll be next step here is continuing welding. Then I can do a little grinding, clean up some of the weld spatter here and there, flip it back over, clean up some more weld spatter on the other side, and then this big piece will basically be done. So that'll be cool. Alright, as we wrap up part 6 here, I've been welding on the underside of the main frame here, and I've got probably about 90% of that complete. And as we are finishing up this weekend, I knew I was getting low on MIG welding wire, and sure enough, spool is empty. That was a 33-pound spool. Majority it's been used welding this frame, and of course all the tack welding and previous welding on this unit before. I knew I was getting low, so I had already bought a new spool. So that'll be the next thing. I'm going to put this spool on before I call it done here, and then next time when I come back I'll be all set to weld some more on this frame. You can see all these joints around the 4x4 tubes. That's done. Winch plate, receiver hitch, all around that frame, up around there, and all those joints for the frames and tubes coming together. A few of the things that I do have left, I need to fabricate some gussets, and those are going to go right here from this 2x3 tube down to the 4x4 tube. That's the tube that's made suspension tie-ons. I want to do a gusset front and back there. We've got this plate on this side that holds it on, but I want to put another gusset here, help strengthen that up, and also driving along, hit any rough earth that'll help guide it up over that tube a little bit. So we need to cut some 3x3 angle gusset plates to go on there. I want to cap those 2x3 tubes, the insides of those, and then on the back here, ends of the 4x4 tubes, one of these gets used for the winch rope to go through, so that already gets capped, but we've got 1, 2, and 3 to get capped there. And then same thing up here on the front. Let's see here. That one and that one get used for the winch anchor actuator, so those will stay open. That one gets used for the winch rope, as that comes out the front there, but I need to cap that one then, so I need to make a cap for that. Once I do that, this thing will pretty much be all welded here. A little bit of grinding, cleanup, some spatter, that sort of thing, and then I'll flip it back over and roll it out of the way, and then we can go on to likely the roll cage there, as well as all the small parts. So thanks everyone for following along. We'll catch you next time. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe on this video. That'd be great. Any comments, questions, post them below, and we'll see you guys next time.